Good afternoon, everyone. How is everybody doing on this Sunday afternoon? My name is Rob, and let me introduce myself if you don't know me. But before I introduce myself, we're going to be watching a number of videos today. One of those videos is the one that you see on the screen now. It's of Joe Rogan, and he has some pretty good way of putting something that I think you're going to be really interested in. We'll get to this video about halfway through this video live stream, but I'm glad that everybody could make it today. And what we're going to be talking about again, let me get this down so I can hear you, is Joe Rogan and a number of other videos that you're going to like. One of them is a video of a man who is an investor who has some good ideas that you can use on Monday morning to get where you want to go in life as far as passive income streams. There's another woman, I found her video. I don't know her name. It's this woman right here. And she has some mindset ideas that will really propel you into the future you, to get you again going on Monday morning, because who wants to start Monday morning at a place where you just don't want to be? And then we're going to watch this man right here. I think you might know him. His name is Chris Williamson, and he's a popular YouTube broadcaster, podcaster, YouTuber. Smart guy, and he has a lot of good advice. He has a lot of good tips that you can apply to your own life. And if we have time, we're going to take a look at my Twitter or X stream, and we're going to be looking at some of the videos that I have posted and also some of the X's, the tweets as we used to call them, right? It's hard to know what to call them anymore. But let's start in with the first clip that I thought was really interesting. And here's a woman, and let's hear what she has to say.
To the grocery store and you spend $200 on groceries and it stresses you out and you feel like, damn, I just spent $200 on groceries. Well, no, you didn't. You spent $200 and you exchanged that energetic currency for $200 worth of health and wellness and nutrients.
So what she is saying, and what I have said before, is that she's talking about spending money. And some people don't like the idea of spending money, let's say. She's saying she went to the grocery store, she spent a lot of money, and she felt bad about it at first, but then she thought about it and she realized that she was able to take that cash, that paper, and turn it into something that gave her energy. And she uses that energy to make YouTube videos, and that makes her more money. So it's a circle. I like to think of it as kind of pushing a ball uphill, a snowball uphill. And in the wintertime here in Massachusetts, we get a lot of that. This year we haven't got a whole lot of snow, but it's raining out now. But picture this, and I used to say, again, my name is Rob. I'm a former military guy turned entrepreneur and attorney. And what I mean by that is I was a major in the United States Marine Corps, and I am currently an attorney in private practice along with a digital entrepreneur. I have a YouTube channel and other social media channels that I post to regularly. And this woman that we just looked at, she says that you can't think of money as something that you have to hold on to. You can use money to create more. And if you have this abundance mindset of creating more in your life, you're not going to hold on so tight to the funds, the money that you have. For instance, she's talking about going to the grocery store and using that money to, at first, let's listen to this again.
To the grocery store and you spend $200 on groceries and it stresses you out and you feel like, damn, I just spent $200 on groceries. Well, no, you didn't. You spent $200 and you exchanged that energetic currency for $200 worth of health and
so what she's saying is that if you use money to buy something, that money is going to turn around and get you something. It's going to get you more. It's going to get you more. And think of it like this. I'll tell you a little story as far as like, let's say you need a roof put on your house and you get some estimates, and the estimates come to, let's say, $15,000. And you're saying, darn, I don't want to spend $15,000. It took a long time to get that money, or you might have to take out a loan to put the shingles on the roof. Well, think of it this way. That money that you spend on the roof is money that's going to keep your house warm, that's going to keep you warm, it's going to keep your family warm, it's going to keep rain out of the house. And that in turn is going to give you the ability to get a good night's sleep, to eat in peace. And with that is you're going to be able to go to a job rested and get your job done. That means that you're going to be able to make money. So it's a spiral upward. And I was talking a few minutes ago about when I was in the Marine Corps. I used to talk to a lot of Marines, and sometimes life gets difficult. It gets difficult for Marines too. And I always used to tell them, think of life kind of like a snowball. And if you think of a snowball like the cartoons, you see a cartoon and this character is trying to push a snowball up a hill. And it's, you know what I mean? You see this character, and the character's like sweating bullets and huffing and puffing and trying his hardest to get that snowball up the hill. And he can't get it up the hill, and he's pushing. Maybe a couple of his friends come by and help him push it up the hill, give him an extra boost. That's kind of like life, right? You're working on something, it's difficult, and you're trying to get momentum. And once you get that snowball up the hill at the top, at the peak, think of the easiness of pushing that snowball back down the hill. When you push the snowball down the hill, it starts to gather more snow. It starts to pick up speed. It starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's momentum. And that's how we start getting momentum in our own lives. We push up the hill and get that snowball all the way up to the top. We sweat. We're sweating bullets. And then when we finally get it up to the top of the hill, we push it down. And that's when life starts to get a little bit easier, when the snowball picks up momentum. And that's something like what this woman is talking about here. Not quite, but she's talking about money and how we can use money to get to a better place in life.
Wellness and nutrients. So every time I spend money, I'm not thinking like, wow, I just lost that on something. No, I traded it for something that's the equal value. And so by thinking about it like that, my abundance never lacks, right? It never goes away, because whenever I spend money, I still have it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to think of it. She's saying that whenever she spends money, she still has it because it transfers to something else. It's just like Einstein said that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It's one of the laws of thermal dynamics. And she's kind of repeating that law, only in a different fashion. And that law that she's repeating is, you get something, you give it away, you get it back again. It's a law of abundance. It's like, think of the abundance and the opportunities that we all have in front of us. And you might say to yourself, well, I don't have any abundance in my life, or there's no opportunities in my life. There's opportunities in everyone's life. And there's opportunities in everyone's life. Sometimes, all the time, opportunities do not come to anyone gift wrapped. I never saw anyone that was successful in life who had something handed to them. I'm sure there are people that have things handed to them in life. They might come from rich parents and they have a trust fund, and because of that trust fund, doors open because they have money. But nobody has ever handed anything to me, and I don't know of anyone in my life that ever was handed anything. So opportunities do not come gift wrapped. They usually come as problems and difficulties, and we have to take those opportunities and turn them into something good, something that we can use. And that's exactly what that woman was talking about as far as abundance is concerned. And the story that I like to tell people is, you might think that you don't have a lot of abundance in your life, but there's a lot of everything all around us. And just think of air, for instance. When you breathe air, take a deep breath and you can feel the air in your lungs. The question I would like to ask everybody is, do you worry about running out of air? Now, you might say, yeah, I worry about it because I have asthma, or because you're worried about the air pollution or something. But I mean, in every ordinary day situation, we're walking around and we're not thinking about running out of oxygen that we breathe. So there's an abundance of oxygen. And the same, think of water. I mean, think of going up to your kitchen sink, turning on the faucet, and do you think it's going to run dry? Do you think you're going to turn on the faucet and no water is going to come out? We don't think that because it doesn't even enter our mind when we turn on the faucet and we get water. And that's the same way with abundance and opportunities. There's opportunities all around us. The difference is sometimes those opportunities are disguised. They have camouflage, and we don't seem to see them as opportunities at the time. When that happens, you have to keep your eyes open for the opportunities that do not look like opportunities. There's been a lot of opportunities in my life that have passed me by. Think about them sometimes. Real estate opportunities, business opportunities, opportunities to connect with people. You probably have the same circumstances in your own life. The great news is that even though there's opportunities that may have been missed, it doesn't matter, because there's plenty of opportunities for you and I, continual opportunities. And I wrote about this on Twitter, and now's as good a time as any to take a look at this. And
just a little bit of, take a little bit of, just a little bit of, just a little bit of, and a little bit of.
Are lazy, when other people are sleeping late in the morning, when other people are not taking the time to learn a new skill, when other people are out partying all night long and just throwing their money away. You and I can learn. You and I can apply ourselves. You and I, in the end, are going to have a lot more than the people that are out sleeping late, partying, and wasting their money. And that's the whole point of that video that I posted on YouTube. And I think maybe it didn't get a huge amount of views just because, I think it was because possibly the music, I don't know. I never know which type of music to put in the background. It's more or less a guess. But let's get back to our video so we saw a video of a woman earlier, and now we're going to be watching this man who has some good investment ideas and really good life advice as far as making money, getting income streams, providing for your future. And it's pretty simple advice. And let's listen to him.
To be the first millionaire in your family, here are my 3 best tips to help you achieve it. Number 1, start investing early and often. And don't listen to the fake gurus that tell you need 20 to 50 grand to get started. That's just bullshit.
So his first idea is start investing. He's saying to invest early and often, which is good. And if you're 18, great, you have a lot of years in front of you. If you're 90, we all still have the same amount of time. The beauty about investing early and often, and I think from his perspective, it was investing in stocks or mutual funds. And this isn't investing advice, but from what I've seen in my own life and from what I've seen in my clients' lives, is the way to get wealthy, the way to get rich. And it takes a while, way more than it does if you get lucky in the stock market, is to invest in mutual funds. So again, this is not investing advice, but take a look at Vanguard mutual funds. Take a look at the total stock market Vanguard mutual fund, or the Wellington fund, or the total bond market, depending upon your risk tolerance. Let's say the total stock market fund from Wellington, you can expect to gain about 8% on average a year. And when you compare that with putting money in a bank account or a checking account, I know in checking accounts still, and it's pretty bad, that you put money in a checking account and you're going to get like 0.01% interest on your money. So let me give you an example. Let's just say hypothetically you have $200,000 in a checking account. I know that's a lot of money. You would get a couple of dollars a month in interest if you had that money in the bank. If you just put that money in, let's just say, the Vanguard federal money market account. Now, again, this is not investing advice. You have to take a look at yourself if you want to invest. But that federal money market account is earning about, I think the last time I looked, is like 5.4% interest. So you compare the interest that you would get on $200,000 in a checking account, which is about $2 a month, to what you would get on that $200,000 in a federal money market account. That would be about $1,000 a month. So that's a big difference. And over a 12-month period, that's about $12,000 a month. And that money is compounding in the federal money market account. And that's what I like about, mutual funds, the Vanguard mutual funds, is that the money in the mutual funds compounds too. I wish I had more videos to show you on this, but take my word, again, this is not investing advice. But if you put money in a mutual fund, let's say this guy is saying to start investing early and often. He doesn't give any details, and I can understand because it's a short video, so it's a TikTok video, and those are usually under 60 seconds. My videos are too, usually under 60 seconds. So I don't get a whole lot of time to kind of go in depth on what I mean. But now I can. In this video, I can. So if you look, he's saying to invest early and often. That means taking money. Let's say you start a mutual fund in Vanguard. You put $3,000 to start if you have that amount of money. Some mutual funds you can get into with even less than that amount of money. Then you take that amount of money and you start putting $50 a month. If that's what you can afford. If you can afford more, probably should put more in. So your income averaging, you're averaging the amount of money you get back every month, because that $50 that you put into the mutual fund, let's say in January, might get you 10 shares of a mutual fund. The next month, the fund might go down, and that $50 would buy you more shares in the fund. So let's say you get 15 shares the next month. So you can see right there, it's compounding a little bit. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down. That's the beauty of it. You can make money going up and going down in a mutual fund because you're getting shares at a lower cost if the stock market goes down. If it goes up, you win too, because the value of the mutual fund went up. So let me continue on that thought about compounding interest. Another beautiful thing about mutual funds is that the money that you put into the mutual fund compounds. And what I mean by that is, let's take the Wellington Vanguard mutual fund for an example. If you put money into that every month, every quarter the fund issues a dividend. If you reinvest that dividend, which you can do automatically, that dividend gets reinvested back into the mutual fund, which means you buy more shares in that mutual fund. When it goes up, your investment went up. So it's compounding your returns. It's like a money machine, really. Now, this man, we'll see what he has to say next. But his advice as far as starting off early and often is good. And that means, but it doesn't mean that you're going to get rich overnight. You will not. And there's going to be ups and downs in the stock market. And when it goes down, it's scary. When it goes up, it's wonderful. Everyone feels great. But when it goes down, people feel fear. And you might feel fear too. You might, like, your heart might drop out of your chest because you're thinking, wow, I just lost money. You didn't lose money. You might have lost money on paper, but you didn't lose money in fact. And that is because, as I was just going over, the money in the mutual fund is compounding, and it goes up and down because the stock market historically has gone up and down over the years. And it's going to go up, it's going to go down, and sometimes it's going to crash. And when it crashes, that's a scary time. But this isn't an investment video, so let's listen to the rest of what this guy has to say about his investing philosophy, let's say.
Find a way to save $50 to $100 a week starting out.
Which you were just
Let
talking about.
compounding do the rest. And number two, you have to change your mindset. When you get money, rather than thinking about what can I buy, think about how can I invest it. And number three.
So that's good advice too. And it's advice. It's a great tip that not a lot of people think about. Think about it this way. If you are a consumer, you're going to be getting stuff. Let's say stuff for your house. I don't know what it could be. You think of whatever you might want to buy, or your spouse wants to buy, something to put on the wall, some rug, something, but it's less practical than that. Something that's really impractical that you might see on a TV commercial. That impractical stuff, the money that you spend, the funds that you spent on whatever it was, could be put in a mutual fund. If you spend $50 a month on something that I'm not talking about coffee. I'm not talking about denying yourself pleasure. I'm talking about, instead of being a consumer, being a creator. And when you're creating, like putting money in a mutual fund, you're creating little baby monies that are going to make you more money, which is something that I like. And I'm sure you will too, but we'll see the rest of what he has to say. I like this guy because I think he's a really successful investor. I can't remember where I got this video, but if you look at him, he looks like an everyday, ordinary guy. I'm sure he's smart, just because I don't think a lot of guys that are really smart and use their mind the way they should, I don't think they have to go out and show off and wear a three-piece suit. This guy has a hoodie and a blue jacket on, and he looks like a regular guy.
Swap out 3 time sucks. You know what they are. And use that time to learn 2 new skill sets. If you do this for 3 to 6 months, you can easily add 2 more income streams and you'll be on your way.
So this is where I kind of would give you a little bit different take on this. And that is, he's saying that if you eliminate something in your life that isn't serving you well, let's say somebody watches, when they get home from work, they watch Netflix from whatever time it is. They get home at work 4 o'clock in the afternoon until the time that they go to bed at 11 o'clock at night. That's a time suck. That's something that's sucking time that out of a person's life that they could use to do something else, to learn something else. So he's saying use that time that is wasted in learning a new skill, learning something. And there's so many ways to learn now that I'm so excited about all the opportunities there are in life right now to learn. But I mean, some of the traditional ways to learn a new skill are watching YouTube videos like you're watching now to read books, all kinds of books. Just look on Amazon and look under the business or self-help section. You'll see so many books that if you read some of them, you'll get motivated and you won't want to watch. Nobody would want to watch Netflix when they can read a book about improving themselves. Where I kind of take a different take on what this guy said was in 3 to 6 months, you could have 2 different income streams. It takes a while to get an income stream. If you had $200,000 in a mutual fund, you would have a little bit of an income stream. If you had $200,000 in a Vanguard, let's say hypothetically again, in a Vanguard federal money market account that's earning 5.1, let's say it's earning 5.5% interest. Let's cut out the exact figures. You're getting about $1,000 a month in interest on $200,000. That isn't exactly life-changing income. It might be for some people, but he's saying that if you just start investing early and often, that you're going to develop 2 income streams, passive income streams. I don't think that's possible in 3 to 6 months, but it is possible to turn your life around in days. And I think one of the ways that we can do that is by listening to this video and seeing what Joe Rogan has to say about kind of having a mindset that is going to get you going on a Monday morning. So you want to have more out of life. So you want to get to where you should go in life. Let's hear what Joe has to say.
Favorite quotes ever, because it's true. Most men live lives of quiet desperation. You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away.
So he's saying that most men, and I guess we could say everybody, lives a life of quiet desperation. Men, women, young, old, doesn't matter. I don't think everybody lives a life of quiet desperation at the same time. Some people more desperate than other people. I mean, you listen to the dramatic music that's played in the background, and it kind of swells up inside of a person, and they think, "Poor me." Don't think, "Poor me." Think, "Wonderful me." Think, "Yay, I'm going to be able to do something new on Sunday, and on Monday morning, I'm going to start anew." This is 2024. It's not even the end of January right now. So we just started a new year. There's plenty of time right now in January to get yourself on a new path. Let's listen to the rest of what Joe says.
You have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. And then you have to have a plan. And you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. Do it like your life depends on it. And to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific.
I'm not sure if I agree with the consequences of your life could be horrific if you don't put the emphasis on what Joe Rogan says to do. I think it could be a wasted life if you're not living up to your potential. We all should live up to our potential. And I'm going to end the stream here, and I'm going to end it by introducing myself again. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rob. I am a former military guy turned entrepreneur and attorney. By that I mean I was a major in the United States Marine Corps. I'm a practicing attorney, and I am a digital entrepreneur. Thank you all for watching this afternoon. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend, whatever is left, and start your week off with the positive mindset, knowing that you can do what you put your mind to doing.